Kia ora everybody, how you doing? How you doing, Soak? Doing alright, are you? Yeah. Good, excellent. Now, last time we ended up kind of talking a bit about phosphorescence. That's that glowing effect that a lot of plankton gives you. Especially, obviously you see it at night time. And maybe that was part of the reason that seals got to outfind their food. Yeah, but that doesn't make sense. I mean, if you glow, then you're going to get predators coming in to try and grab you. That's silly. I don't think they've thought about this. Yeah, it does seem a bit like that, doesn't it? And when you think of something like a glowworm, it's actually using the glow to attract things in so they can eat them. Maybe it's a little different. Perhaps it's a bit more like playing Spotlight. You know, I realise a shag probably has never played Spotlight before. You probably never played Spotlight now. Anyway, but you're creeping around at night and somebody shines a torch in your eyes. Suddenly you're left with these big splotches and blobs, which is what's confusing. So perhaps these little planktons are using that to just confuse the things that might be trying to grab them and therefore getting away with it. Yeah, possibly a bit more like that. So, in fact, I seem to remember there was a program on Mythbusters some time ago, and they were talking about pirates, you know, with the eye patch. Did pirates really have eye patches, and why would they need them? And they found that if you're out in the bright sunshine and you've got an eye patch on, and then you go downstairs, like below decks, to where maybe the treasure is on the boat, and flick that eye patch back up, you can see a lot better. So, maybe you could try that when you get a chance. It'd be quite cool to do. But, so I've actually got some plankton here, or cutouts. These are obviously, you know, just to show you what they look like. This is a type of plankton called a copepod. Now, some of you may recognise the sort of shape. It's a bit of a lozenge shape with a couple of feelers and an eye in the middle. And if you've ever watched SpongeBob SquarePants, you'll know what Mr. Plankton looks like. He is actually a copepod. They come in different shapes and forms. I think I've got another one here. We go. This is a slightly more dumpy version, and it's got some look like egg masses on the bottom of it. But again, a blob with an eye in the middle, and a couple of feelers, and yeah, well, basically it's a Mr. Plankton. So that's kind of cool. And not all plankton is like that. And we have what we call permanent plankton and temporary plankton. So permanent plankton is things like copepods. They're always plankton. They just live in the plankton their whole life. Here's a comb jelly there, another little thing that floats around in the ocean. This is obviously a bit of a toy one we've made here. And then you get other sorts of plankton, like, say this would be probably a crab larvae, and you probably can't hardly see that. There we go. And they float around in the plankton to kind of distribute themselves, but of course they don't live in the plankton permanently. They end up being crabs living on the bottom of the ocean. So they're what we call temporary plankton. And then we've got all the what we call producer plankton, so things like more of the plant planktons who are using the sunshine and photosynthesis as well. So there's quite a few different sorts of plankton, and it's really hard to work out how many there are. Yeah, how many are there? Well, I mean, how do you work it out? You can work it out in, I guess, number of plankton per litre of seawater, but how many litres of seawater are there? Yeah, just heaps. So you're talking huge numbers. I was told once, and I don't know if how would you know? But if you counted up all the animals on planet Earth, all the fish, all the shags, all the people, all the dogs, cats, mice, rabbits, flies, worms, everything, but forgot to count those little copepods we were talking about before, and then you counted up the copepods, you'd end up with a number bigger than all the other animals on planet Earth. Is that true? I don't know. I really haven't a clue. But there are a lot of them, a heap of them. So it's kind of interesting. Now, some parts of that SpongeBob SquarePants program are not entirely accurate. I don't know if you've noticed. One of them is that we have a sponge wanting to eat Krabby Patties. I've never known a Krabby Patty, a sponge eat Krabby Patties. I have seen sponges eat plankton. Look out, Mr. Plankton. Yeah, how is it that so many things in the ocean, like animals in the ocean, look like plants? It's ridiculous. That's a very good question. I'm not sure we're going to have time to talk about that today, but that's a very good question, and maybe we should talk about that next time. But it's kind of interesting, isn't it? So, yeah. Are sponges animals? I don't know. Well, we'll find out next time.